So we are living in the new age, and I believe tea is a medium to help you achieve consciousness. The new age thought supports organic evolution, where we understand the foundation for improving our overall health. We are eating simple, clean, nutritious food. We are exploring the knowledge of ancient and timeless herbs and plants. And we're just trying to get fitter, healthier, better. But the New Age thought also supports evolution of the spirit, where we're getting into inner peace. We are looking for peace of mind. We're getting into yoga, meditation, some sort of spiritual divine connection, and moving to a new vision of life. 70% of India is young, but most of us are suffering from chronic stress, depression, hypertension, diabetes. Our environment is changing fast. Our air, water, food, the key essentials for our survival, is already polluted. And we have no other option but to adapt, evolve, and be conscious. And people are getting conscious, like there's 6% growth in the consumption of tea alone. But I feel it's high time you understand if your healthy tea is actually healthy. I remember my first tea ceremony. I was studying in New York then, and a friend of mine took me to this Chinese center. It was a nice, clean space, and we all sat down quietly. The master prepared the tea. We watched the process carefully. The tea was served, shared, and we just spent good time drinking our tea and focusing on it, admiring it. It was a new experience for me. It was something which I cannot explain. It was a different sort of mental peace. And I was moved. Because just think about it, like considering your tea as a medium to connect to nature is spiritual and mind awakening. You see, tea is not just about the taste, how the tea is grown, where it's grown, by whom it's grown, the soil, water, mountains, altitude, temperature, how the tea is processed, its purity. These are the real factors that are important because they contribute to the overall tea experience. I'm an engineer, and while working in Carnegie Mellon and building robots, I knew I had found my passion in life. I just wanted to invent and create solutions. But the experiences that I had because of tea, they sort of gave me some modern day enlightenment and set me on a new path in life. And it was the same experience that I was looking for when I moved back to India. Having lived in the US for a while, I was habituated to a certain kind of tea. But coming back to India made me realize that although the tea that I was drinking back in US, it was made in India, I couldn't find the same tea. There was a clear disconnect. That segment of tea, the quality, it was missing. We are living in 2018, and this segment of tea is still a first world solution made in India. And I was losing my mind. My friends, my family, nobody could understand my obsession with tea, but I was hunting. I was reaching out to every best store in the country where they said they have the best tea, but I just couldn't find what I was looking for. Because I realized no matter how hectic, stressful, happy, high, low my life was, tea was that beautiful element in my life that brought me peace, focus, and it kept me going on. In 2012, I worked with a friend and I designed unique tea recipes for his startup that was planning to compete with coffee giants like Starbucks. This was my first break in tea and opportunity to work on such a large scale. I used natural ingredients to create my recipes, and they became instant hit because of their flavors. The popularity of chayos made me realize that India is ready to step out and have tea instead of coffee. We are open to new flavors, but there's a huge gap in awareness. And at some point, I couldn't keep it all inside me. So instead of finding my next job, I found a mission and started a global tea movement. I started my blog, Love for Tea. It was my medium to share my research, my knowledge, my passion, bring awareness about tea, share my recipes, and create an ecosystem around tea. Global brands with whom my philosophies resonated, they started sending me their tea for reviewing and quality analysis. I traveled extensively across the country. I traveled to some untapped regions in the country. And traveling helped me understand the real issues, the problems of farmers at the origin, and why do we have such a huge gap in the market. Have you ever thought of what your tea is made of? Like, have you opened your tea, smelled it, bit it, tasted it, and tried to figure out what your tea is made of? According to recent stats, India ranks #1 tea bag drinking nation in the world. Well, I understand that because of our busy lifestyles, we look at tea bags like a more convenient and popular option, off-the-shelf option. But there's no shortcut to good health. Like, you have to work out to be fit. There were times when we were okay having packaged food, but times have changed. People have understood the importance of having fresh produce, of having food directly from the earth. Likewise, from a convenient ways of having tea out of bagged packages, we have to evolve and we have to change. We have to move to drinking tea how it's meant to be drunk, in its purest form, directly from the nature. Rose tea, jasmine tea, marigold tea, hibiscus blend, harmony blend, chili chai, they all sound fabulous. They sound really good. But have you ever thought of where the base flavoring in your tea is coming from? So you see a lot of innumerous tea brands in the market, and there are just a lot of brands in the market, but they are basically selling flavored teas, and flavored teas are not good. You see, the real oils are so expensive that companies prefer and use very cheap synthetic oils that are very high on pesticides, herbicides, carcinogens, and chemicals that can lead to serious health problems. Your tea should not smell like a perfume. Perfume has a different purpose. Your tea should smell of forest. It should remind you of earth, the mountains, the fresh air, the greenery, the grass. That's how your tea should be, because it's directly from the nature. Giant global corporations are building their huge empires because of ignorant consumers. And I believe we as people have the right to know the reality. Not many people are aware of the fact that all the health benefits, I say it again, all the health benefits that we read about tea are based on tests done on standard whole leaf grade, and not tea bags, not flavored teas, instant tea, or ready to drink tea. The global tea industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry, and it's in huge crisis and threat. And I'll tell you the 4 biggest issues that we are facing. Number 1, global warming and climate change are affecting our supply. And it's so threatening that 45% of our tea varietals won't even exist in future. Second, the lack of awareness of premium tea. I get contacted by a lot of Indian companies who want to send me their tea for reviewing, and the first thing I question them is, what grade of tea are you selling? And they have no idea. People have a basic information about black tea, green tea, oolong, but that's not it. Every tea that you drink has a different grading system. It's very complicated. There's a lot of science behind it. Number 3, there is no organization to keep a quality check. Like, tea bags are not premium. Your natural oils are not at all natural. The tea that is processed and flavored cannot be organic and directly from the farmers. So we have a lot of issues, and the biggest issue that I want to point out is our farmers. Our farmers are suffering. They are fighting for their basic rights. They don't have machinery or even the basic means for use, so they're basically producing anything in the most organic manner. Their livelihood and sustainability are big concerns. Now that I've shared my insights with you, I'll share my initiatives with you. Some things become really special when you try and find your own way. The starting point was to do something authentic by not trying to be authentic. When I decided to create Rangsa, I had a burst of colors in my head. I thought, I'm going to create music. I'm going to create something which will feel like burst of flavors. It will make people feel happy, peaceful, meditative. It will have a different experience that no one has ever experienced before. As engineers, we are taught to identify problems and then figure out end-to-end solutions. And that's exactly what I did. We collaborated with farmers all across the country, and after years of research and experimentation, we designed these potent concoctions that were the blend of wisdom of tea and modern lifestyle needs. You see, the recent research shows that 80% tea drinkers focus on taste and 20% focus on health benefits. So we decided, okay, we're going to create drinks that are going to be equally healthy and delicious, and that would also encourage people to experiment and remind them that tea is fun. It will help them create their own healthy drinks and even cook with tea. And the response that we got back was very overwhelming. Robert Wedmishner, he's an eminent culinary educator in the US and has been cooking with tea since the 60s and has written 4 books on cooking with tea. He called us new winds blowing in the world of tea, and that our tea opened his palate. A lot of consumers tell us that they cannot drink any other tea now. A consumer mentioned on social media how our tea helped him with the severe asthma during the severe Delhi smog. Some call it the spa experience, and many call it Amrit. And the love just keeps growing. You know, tea is like music. It has different eras, and Rangsa is a new era of tea. It's about meditation, wisdom, clear thinking, micronutrients, and building our relationship with nature. Tea is like a palate experience. It's all about you focusing on every sip and the journey of sip in your mouth, the complex flavors, the mouth feel, how tea coats you, the aftertaste. It's a journey of flavors in your mouth that actually brings your entire focus to that cup of tea. And when you drink it for like 10-15 minutes a day, it becomes a meditation. And that's not rocket science. The tea masters and tea monks who have been practicing for years. And it's not something new. It's the wisdom that has been passed on by the ancestors and ancient people. I recently read a very interesting quote. It said, reset, readjust, restart, refocus as many times as you need to. That's what we need. That's what we should do, and tea can actually help us easily achieve that. Today is Earth Day, and I feel really happy to be talking about tea today. So let's celebrate it for its internal beauty and for giving us the potential to repair in this modern times. Rangsa is my journey, and I'm on this path to bring awareness about tea and help people understand how tea can unfold our lives and bring us mental, physical, and spiritual health. So drink smart, make your next sip matter, because it's all about putting the right leaves in water. Thank you.